Hello everyone, welcome to the fourth video of my Four Corners of the Earth channel, and we're going to continue reading the book of Genesis. We left off on chapter 24, and I'll do a few more chapters today. I believe we're going to start getting into the sons of Abraham. We just got finished with, the last chapter was of Sarah dying and him buying the land of the cave to bury her. So we're going to continue on Genesis chapter 24. Please follow along with your own Bibles or just enjoy the audio and the video. Here we go. Genesis chapter 24. Abraham was now old, advanced in years, and Jehovah had blessed Abraham in everything. Abraham said to his servant, the oldest one of his household, who was managing all he had, "Please put your hand under my thigh, and I will make you swear by Jehovah, the God of the heavens and the God of the earth, that you will not take a wife for my son from the daughters of Canaanites, among whom I am dwelling. You must go instead to my country and to my relatives and take a wife for my son, for Isaac." However, the servant said to him, "What if the woman is not willing to come with me to this land? Must I then return your son to the land from which you came?" At this, Abraham said to him, "See that you do not take my son there. Jehovah, the God of the heavens, who took me from my father's house and from the land of my relatives, and who spoke with me and swore to me, to your offspring, I am going to give this land. He will send his angel ahead of you, and you will certainly take a wife for my son from there. But if the woman is unwilling to come with you, you will be free from this oath, but you must not take my son there." With that, the servant put his hand under the thigh of Abraham, his master, and swore to him concerning this matter. So the servant took 10 of his master's camels and departed, taking along all sorts of good things from his master. Then he went on his way to Mesopotamia, to the city of Nahor. He had the camels kneel down at the well of water outside the city. It was about evening, the time when the woman would go out to draw water. Then he said, "Jehovah, the God of my master Abraham, please grant me success this day, and show your loyal love to my master Abraham. Here I am standing at a spring of water, and the daughter of the men of the city are coming out to draw water. May it happen that the young woman to whom I say, 'Please let down your water jar so that I may take a drink,' and who replies, 'Take a drink, and I will also water your camels,' let this be the one you choose for your servant Isaac. And by this, let know that you have shown your loyal love to my master." Even before he finished speaking, Rebekah, who was the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother, came out with her water jar on her shoulder. Now the young woman was very beautiful, a virgin. No man had had sexual relations with her. She went down to the spring, filled her water jar, and then came back up. At once the servant ran to meet her and said, "Please give me a little sip of water from your jar." In turn she said, "Drink, my lord." With that she quickly lowered her jar upon her hand and gave him a drink. When she finished giving him a drink, she said, "I will also draw water for your camels until they are done drinking." So she quickly emptied her jar into the drinking trough and ran again and again to the well to draw water. And she kept drawing water for all his camels. The whole time the man silently stared at her in amazement, wondering whether Jehovah had made his trip successful or not. When the camels had finished drinking, the man took out for her a gold nose ring weighing a half shekel and 2 bracelets of gold weighing 10 shekels. And he said, "Please tell me, whose daughter are you? Is there any room of your father's house for us to spend the night?" At that she said to him, "I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, whom she bore to Nahor." And she added, "We have both straw and much fodder, also a place to spend the night." Then the man bowed down and prostrated himself before Jehovah and said, "May Jehovah be praised, the God of my father Abraham, for he has not abandoned his loyal love and his faithfulness toward my master. Jehovah has guided me to the house of the brother of my master." And the young woman ran to tell her mother's household about these things. Now Rebekah had a brother whose name was Laban. So Laban ran to the man who was outside at the spring. When he saw the nose ring and the bracelets on the hand of his sister and heard the words of his sister Rebekah, who was saying, "This is the way the man spoke to me," he came to meet the man, who was still there standing by the camels at the spring. At once he said, "Come, you are blessed by Jehovah. Why do you keep standing out here? I have made the house ready and place for the camels." With that, the man came into the house, and he unharnessed the camels and gave straw and food and fodder to the camels and water, to wash his feet and the feet of the men who were with him. However, when something to eat was set before him, he said, "I will not eat until I have told you what I have to say." So Laban said, "Speak." Then he said, "I am Abraham's servant, and Jehovah has blessed my master very much, and he has made him very wealthy by giving him sheep and cattle, silver and gold, male and female servants, and camels and donkeys. Further, Sarah the wife of my master bore a son to my master after she grew old, and he will give him everything he has. So my master made me swear, saying, 'You must not take a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites, in whose land I am dwelling. No, but you will go to the house of my father and to my family, and you must take a wife for my son.' But I said to my master, 'What if the woman is unwilling to come with me?' He said to me, 'Jehovah, before whom I have walked, will send his angel with you, and will certainly give success to your journey. And you must take a wife for my son from my family and from the house of my father. You will be released from your oath to me if you give to my family, and they will not give her to you. This will release you from your oath.' When I got to the spring today, I said, 'Jehovah, the God of my master Abraham, if you will make my journey successful, here I am standing at a spring. What must take place is that when a young woman comes out to draw water, I will say, "Please, let me drink a little water from your jar." And she will say to me, "You take a drink, and I will also draw water from your camels." Let the woman be the one whom Jehovah has chosen for the son of my master." Before I was finished speaking in my heart, there was Rebekah coming out with her jar on her shoulder, and she made her way down to the spring and began to draw water. Then I said to her, "Give me a drink, please." So she quickly lowered her jar from her shoulders and said, "Take a drink, and I will also water your camels." Then I took a drink, and she also watered the camels. After that I asked her, "Whose daughter are you?" To which she replied, "The daughter of Bethuel, the son of Nahor, whom Milcah bore to him." So I put the ring on her nose and the bracelets on her hands. And I bowed down and prostrated myself before Jehovah and praised Jehovah, the God of my master Abraham, who had led me on the right path to take the daughter of the brother of my master for his son. And now tell me if you wish to show loyal love and faithfulness toward my master. But if not, tell me, so that I may proceed one way or the other." Then Laban and Bethuel answered, "This is from Jehovah. We are not able to say yes or no to you. Here is Rebekah before you. Take her, and go and let her become a wife to the son of your master, just as Jehovah has spoken." When Abraham's servant heard their words, he once bowed down on the ground before Jehovah. And the servant began to bring out articles of silver and gold and garments to give them to Rebekah, and he gave valuable things to her brother and to her mother. After that, he had men with him eat and drink, and they spent the night there. When he got up in the morning, he said, "Send me off, my master." So to this her brother and her mother said, "Let the young woman stay with us at least 10 days, then she could go." But he said to him, "Do not detain me, seeing that Jehovah had made my journey successful. Send me off, in order that I may go to my master." So they said, "Let us call the young woman and inquire of her." They called Rebekah and said to her, "Will you go with this man?" She replied, "I am willing to go." So they sent off their sister Rebekah and her nurse and Abraham's servant and his men. And they blessed Rebekah and said to her, "Our sister, May you become the 1,000 times 10,000, and let your offspring take possession of the gate of those who hate them." Then Rebekah and her female attendants rose and got on the camels and followed the man. So the servant took Rebekah and went on his way. Now Isaac had come from the direction of Beer-lahai-roi, for he was dwelling in the land of Negeb. And Isaac was out walking in the field about nightfall to meditate. When he looked up, why, he saw the camels were coming. When Rebekah looked up, she caught sight of Isaac, and she quickly got down from the camel. Then she asked the servant, "Who is that man there walking in the field to meet us?" And the servant said, "It is my master." So she took her veil to cover herself. And the servant told Isaac all the things he had done. After that, Isaac brought her into the tent of Sarah his mother. Thus he took Rebekah as his wife, and he fell in love with her. And Isaac found comfort after the loss of his mother. Now Abraham again took, chapter 25, I apologize. Now Abraham again took a wife, and her name was Keturah. In time she bore him Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shu'ah. Jokshan became father to Sheba and Dedan. The sons of Dedan were Ashurim, Letushim, and Leumimim. The sons of Midian were Ephah, Epher, Hanok, Abidah, and Eldaah. All of these were the sons of Keturah. Later on, Abraham gave everything he had to Isaac, but Abraham gave gifts to his sons by his concubines. Then while he was still alive, he sent them eastward, away from Isaac his son, to the land of the east. The years of Abraham's life were 175 years. Then Abraham breathed his last and died at a good old age, old and satisfied, and he was gathered to his people. His son Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah in the field of Ephron, the son of Zohar, the Hittite, that is in front of Mamre, the field that Abraham had purchased from the sons of Heth. There Abraham was buried with his wife Sarah. After Abraham's death, God continued to bless his son Isaac, and Isaac was dwelling near Beer-lahai-roi. This is the history of Ishmael, the son of Abraham, who Hagar the Egyptian, the servant of Sarah, bore to Abraham. Now, there are the names of the sons of Ishmael by their names according to the family origins. Ishmael's firstborn Naboth, then Kedar, Adbeel, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Masasa, Hadad, Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedemah. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names by their settlements, by their encampments, chieftains according to their clans. And Ishmael lived for 137 years. Then he breathed his last and died and was gathered to his people. And they took up dwelling from Havilah, near Shur, which is close to Egypt, as far as Assyria. He settled near all his brothers. And this is the history of Isaac, the son of Abraham. Abraham became father to Isaac. Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, the Aramean of Padan Aram, the sister of Laban, the Aramean. And Isaac kept pleading with Jehovah regarding his wife, because she was barren. So Jehovah responded to his plea, and his wife Rebekah became pregnant. And the sons within her began to struggle with each other, so that she said, "If this is the way it is, why should I go on living?" So she inquired of Jehovah. And Jehovah said to her, "Two nations are in your womb, and two peoples will separate from within you, and the one nation will be stronger than the other nation, and the older will serve the younger." When the time came from her to give birth, look, twins were in her womb. Then the first came out red all over, and was like a garment of hair. So they named him Esau. After that, his brother came out, and his hand was holding on to the heel of Esau. So he named him Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when she gave birth to them. As the boys got bigger, Esau became a skilled hunter, a man of the field. But Jacob was a blameless man, dwelling in tents. And Isaac loved Esau because it meant game in his mouth, whereas Rebekah loved Jacob. On one occasion, Jacob was boiling some stew when Esau returned from the field exhausted. So Esau said to Jacob, "Quick, please, give me some of the red stew that you have there, for I am exhausted." That is why his name was Edom. To this Jacob said, "First sell me your right as firstborn." And Esau continued, "Here, I am about to die. What is use of birthright to me?" And Jacob added, "Swear to me first." So he swore to him and sold his right as firstborn to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and lentil stew, and he ate and drank, and he got up and went away. Thus Esau despised the birthright. Chapter 26. Now there was famine in the land in addition to the first famine that occurred in the days of Abraham, so that Isaac went to Abimelech king of the Philistines in Gerar. Then Jehovah appeared to him and said, "Do not go down to Egypt. Dwell in the land that I designate to you. Reside as a foreigner in this land, and I will continue with you and bless you, because to you and to your offspring I will give all these lands, and I will carry out the oath that I swore to your father Abraham. I will multiply your offspring like the stars of the heavens, and I will give to your offspring all these lands, and by means of your offspring all nations of the earth will obtain a blessing for themselves, on account of the fact that Abraham listened to my voice and continued to keep my requirements, my commands, my statutes, and my laws." So Isaac continued to dwell in Gerar. When the man of the place kept asking about his wife, he would say, "She is my sister." He was afraid to say, "She is my wife," for he said, "The men of the place might kill me because of Rebekah, for she was beautiful in appearance." After some time had passed, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, was looking out of the window, and he saw Isaac displaying affection for Rebekah, his wife. At once Abimelech called Isaac and said, "She is actually your wife. Why did you say she is my sister?" At that Isaac said to him, "I said it for fear I should die because of her." But Abimelech continued, "What have you done to us? One of the people could easily have laid down with your wife, and you would have brought guilt upon us." Then Abimelech commanded all the people, saying, "Anybody touching this man and his wife will surely be put to death." And Isaac began to sow seed in the land, and in the year he reaped 100 times what he sowed, for Jehovah was blessing him. The man became wealthy, and he continued to prosper until he became very wealthy. He acquired flocks of sheep and herds of cattle and large body of servants, and the Philistines began to envy him. So the Philistines took soil and stopped up all the wells that his father's servants had dug in the days of Abraham. Abimelech then said to Isaac, "Move from our neighborhood, for you have grown far stronger than we are." So Isaac moved from there and encamped in the valley of Gerar and began dwelling there. And Isaac again dug in the wells that had been dug in the days of his father Abraham, but that the Philistines had stopped up from Abraham's death, and he called them by name that his father had given them. When the servants of Isaac were digging in the valley, they found a well of fresh water, and the shepherds of Gerar began quarreling with the shepherds of Isaac, saying, "The water is ours." So he named the well Esek, because they had quarreled with him. And they started digging up another well, and they began quarreling over it also. So he named it Sitnah. Later he moved away from there and dug another well, but they did not quarrel over it. So he named it Rehoboth, and said, "It is because now Jehovah has given us ample room and has made us fruitful in the land." Then he went up from there to Beersheba. That night Jehovah appeared to him and said, "I am the God of your father Abraham. Do not be afraid, for I am with you, and I will bless you and multiply your offsprings on account of Abraham my servant." So he built an altar there and called on the name of Jehovah. And Isaac pitched his tent there, and his servant dug a well there. Later Abimelech came to him from Gerar, and Ahuzath, and his personal advisor, and Phicol, the chief of his army. At this Isaac said to them, "Why have you come to me, seeing that you hated me and sent me away from your neighborhood?" To this they said, "We have clearly seen that Jehovah has been with you, So we said, let there please be an oath of obligation between us and you, and let us become a covenant with you, that you will do nothing bad to us, just as we have not harmed you, seeing that we have done only good to you, and that we sent you away in peace. You now are the blessed of Jehovah. Then he made a feast for them, and they ate and drank. In the morning they got up early and swore an oath to each other. After that Isaac sent them away, and they went from him in peace. On that day the servants of Isaac came and reported to him about the well that they had dug, and they told him, "We have found water." So he named it Sheba. That is why the name of the city is Beersheba to this day. When Esau was 40 years old, he took as wife Judith, the daughter of Beeri the Hittite, and also Basemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite. They were a source of great grief to Isaac and Rebekah. Chapter 27. Now when Isaac was old and his eyes were too weak to see, he called Esau, his older son, to him and said, "My son." He replied, "Here I am." And he went on to say, "I have now grown old, and I do not know the day of my death. So at this time take, please, your weapons, your quiver, and your bow, and go out onto the field and hunt some wild game for me. Then make that kind of tasty dish that I am fond of and bring it to me. Then I will eat it, so that I may bless you before I die." However, Rebekah was listening while Isaac spoke to Esau his son, and Esau went out into the field to hunt game and to bring it in. And Rebekah said to Jacob her son, "I just heard your father speaking to your brother Esau, saying, 'Bring me some game and make me a tasty dish. Then let me eat, so that I may bless you before Jehovah before my death. And now, my son, listen carefully and do what I am instructing you. Go, please, to the herd and get me 2 of the best young goats from there, so that I may prepare for them a tasty dish for your father, just the way he likes it. Then take it to your father to eat, in order that he may bless you before his death." Jacob said to his mother Rebekah, "But Esau, my brother, is a hairy man, and my skin is smooth. What if my father feels me? Then I will certainly appear to be mocking him, and I will bring upon myself a curse rather than a blessing." At this his mother said to him, "Upon me be the curse meant for you, my son. Just do as I say and go. Get them for me." So he went and got them and brought them to his mother, and his mother made a tasty dish just the way his father liked it. After that, Rebekah took her older son Esau's finest garments, which she had in the house, and put them on the younger son Jacob. She also put the skins of the young goats on his hands and on the hairless parts of his neck. Then she handed the tasty dish and the bread that she had made to her son Jacob. So he went into his father and said, "My father." To which he said, "Here I am. Who are you, my son?" Jacob said to his father, "I am Esau, your firstborn. I have done just as you told me. Sit up, please, and eat some of my game, so that you may bless me." At this Isaac said to his son, "How are you so quick in finding it, my son?" He replied, "Because Jehovah your God brought it to me." Then Isaac said to Jacob, "Come near, please, that I may feel you, my son, to know whether you are really my son Esau or not." So Jacob came near to his father Isaac, and he felt him. After which he said, "The voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau." He did not recognize him, because his hands were hairy like the hands of his brother Esau, so he blessed him. After that he asked, "Are you really my son Esau?" To which he replied, "I am." Then he said, "Bring me some of the wild game for me to eat, my son, then I will bless you." With that he brought it to him, and he ate, and he brought him wine, and he drank. Then Isaac his father said to him, "Come near, please, and kiss me, my son." So he came near and kissed him, and he could smell the scent of his garments. Then he blessed him and said, "See, the scent of my son is like the scent of the field that Jehovah has blessed. May the true God give you the dews of the heavens and the fertile soils of the earth and the abundance of grain and new wine. Let people serve you, and let nations bow low to you. Be master over your brothers, and let the sons of your mother bow low to you." Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be everyone who blesses you." Now Isaac had just finished blessing Jacob, and Jacob had barely left the presence of his father Isaac when his brother Esau came from his hunting. He too prepared a tasty dish and brought it to his father, and he said to his father, "Let my father get up and eat some of his son's game in order that you may bless me." At this his father Isaac said to him, "Who are you?" To which he said, "I am your son, your firstborn, Esau." And Isaac began to tremble violently, so he said, "Who was it, then, who hunted for game and brought it to me? I already ate before you arrived, and I blessed him, and he will surely be blessed." On hearing his father's word, Esau began to cry out in an extremely loud and bitter manner, and to say to his father, "Bless me, yes, me too, my father." But he said, "Your brother came deceitfully so that he may get the blessing meant for you." At this he said, "Is he not rightly named Jacob, that he might supplant me these 2 times? My birthright he has already taken, and now he has taken my blessing." Then he added, "Have you not reserved a blessing for me?" But Isaac answered Esau, "Here I have appointed him master over you, and I have given him all his brothers and servants, and I have bestowed grain and new wine for his support. What is left that I can do for you, my son?" Esau said to his father, "Is there just one blessing that you have, my father? Bless me, yes, me too, my father." With that, Esau cried loudly and burst into tears. So his father Isaac answered him, "See, away from the fertile soils of the earth your dwelling will be, and away from the dew of the heavens above. And by your sword you will live, and you will serve your brother. But when you grow restless, you will indeed break his yoke off your neck." However, Esau harbored animosity against Jacob because of the blessing his father had given him. And Esau kept saying in his heart, "These days of mourning for my father are getting closer. After that I am going to kill Jacob my brother." When the words of her older son Esau were told to Rebekah, she at once sent for her younger son Jacob and said to him, "Look, your brother Esau is planning to take revenge by killing you. Now, my son, do as I say. Get up and run away to my brother Laban in Haran. Dwell with him for a while until your brother's rage calms down, until your brother's anger toward you subsides and he forgets that you have done to him. Then I will send for you from there. Why should I lose both of you in one day?" After that, Rebekah kept saying to Isaac, "I am disgusted with my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob ever takes a wife from the daughters of Heth, like these daughters of this land, what good is my life?" Chapter 28. So Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and commanded him, saying, "You must not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan. Go away to the Padan-aram, to the house of Bethuel, your mother's father, and from there take for you yourself a wife from the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. God Almighty will bless you and make you fruitful and multiply you, and you will certainly become a congregation of peoples. And he will give to you the blessing of Abraham, to you and to your offspring with you, so that you may take possession of the land where you have been living as a foreigner, which God has given to Abraham." So Isaac sent Jacob away, and he departed for Padan-aram to Laban, the son of Bethuel, the Aramean, the brother of Rebekah, the mother of Jacob and Esau. Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob, and had sent him away to Padan-aram to take a wife from there, and that when he blessed him, he commanded him, "Do not take a wife from the daughters of Canaan." And that Jacob obeyed his father, and his mother departed for Padan-aram. Esau then realized that the daughters of Canaan were displeasing to his father Isaac. So Esau went to Ishmael and took his wife Mahalath, the daughter of Abraham, son of Ishmael, the sister of Nebaioth, in addition to the other wives he already had. Jacob departed from Beersheba and kept going towards Haran. In time, he came to a place and prepared to spend the night there, because the sun had set. So he took one of the stones of the place and set it to rest his head on and lay down there. Then he had dreamed, and look, there was a stairway set on the earth, and its top reached up to the heavens, and there was God's angels ascending and descending on it. And look, there was Jehovah stationed above it, And he said, I am Jehovah, the God of Abraham, your father, and the God of Isaac. The land on which you are lying, to you I am going to give it, and to your offspring. And your offspring will certainly become like the dust particles of the earth, and you will spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And by means of you, and by means of your offspring, all the families of the ground I will certainly be blessed. I am with you, and I will safeguard you wherever you go, and I will return to you to this land. I will not leave you until I have done what I have promised you. Then Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, Truly Jehovah is in this place, and I did not know it. And he grew fearful and added, How awe-inspiring this place is! This can only be the house of God, and this is the gate of the heavens. So Jacob got up early in the morning and took the stone on which he had rested his head and set it up as a pillar and poured oil on top of it. So he named that place Bethel, but previously the city's name was Luz. Jacob then made a vow saying, If God will continue with me and will protect me on my journey and will give me bread to eat and garments to wear, and I return in peace to the house of my father, then Jehovah will certainly have proved to be my God. And this stone that I have set up as pillar will become a house of God, and without fail I will give you a tenth of everything you give to me. I am going to pause it there. Very interesting reading of, what happened after Abraham and his sons and then his sons, and on what's going to partake, and, God keeping the promise that he made to Abraham for Abraham being loyal. And now his sons and his grandsons are seeing that, God is still with them, and it's just going to get a little more interesting from there. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you are all doing well out there, and I will see you in the next video. We will continue on chapter 29 and on. I believe there's only 50 chapters in Genesis. We're on 29, so we could say we're somewhat halfway there. Appreciate it again. You all take care.